Baldy, what's up? How you feeling, brother?
I feel awesome, to be honest with you, Spike. I'm in a good spot here, bro.
Like in a
What are we missing?
yeah, where are you at? I
My house in Florida here. I'm on the beach, man. It's a great spot here. I feel like I'm on vacation.
Oh, it's in the 50s here. That's nice.
You are the ultimate. If I were to look up "work hard, play hard" in the dictionary, that is
there
Baldy.
any other way?
What? No,
I don't know of any other way.
Well, I wish.
Listen. Spike, I love what I do, but you can always talk about breaking down cover two or the run game so much. You gotta kind of balance it out a little bit here.
Yeah, I just go to the movies by myself. That is I feel like I got to do the play hard school from Baldy so I can learn how to do that at some point.
Come tag along one weekend.
Yes.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You have fun.
All right, Baldy. Sunday against the Vikings. Was that the best you've seen Jalen Hurts throw the ball?
Yep. They took a little nap, for 25 minutes after the opening score touchdown. It was like a long nap. But, once they woke up from the nap and, they hit Devontae, with the long bomb, it looked really good. And he throws a good deep ball. He's always thrown a good deep ball. He gives his guys a chance, let them run underneath it. And, it looked, that's a pretty good defense that they did it against. And, just talking to some of the guys, and I was there, that's a tough place to play. It gets loud. They got their decimeter thing going. It's hard to hear. But, it was a good performance. They needed that.
So what exactly were they doing that allowed it to work so well? Was it just him throwing the ball where it should be, or what do you think added up to the success throwing it?
They've been trying to get Jalen to, go under center and get out of shotgun and do what a lot of these other offenses are doing, a play-action pass. And, the throw to Devontae was a max protection, speedo route, and he just ran right by the corner. But he had a 7-step drop. So play-action passes under center was a big deal. Petula was telling me about it before the game, and Saquon was, 7-8 yards deep. And, they thought it would really open up the offense, and it did. And I think you'll see a lot more of it. But that was the real catalyst for it. And they had really, they had talked about it, that it's in the offense, but it wasn't something that Jalen is the most comfortable doing, turning his back to the defense. He likes kind of seeing the whole thing. But it really worked, and I think you'll see more of it, as we go forward.
Yeah, I was going to say, the last couple of games, it seems like the explosive plays are at least starting to show up on film. I know he missed a couple. The one in the Giants game, he and A.J., whatever that was, in the Denver Broncos game. But last week, he seemed to hit on just about everything. I get the question, Baldy, the last couple of days about believing that they've turned a corner or not. So, in other words, is this just a one-game thing, or have you seen enough there that you believe they've turned a corner in the passing game, that this is not 382 yards or whatever it was in a perfect QB rating, but at least the passing game can be effective moving forward? You think they turned that corner with it?
Well, I'd like to turn the corner. I got to see, Saquon have a day. I've seen all these other backs have a day in this league. I haven't seen Saquon have one yet.
Okay.
I've seen rookies do it. I've seen Quinshon Judkins have a day. I haven't seen Saquon have a day yet. And to me, they're not going to turn the corner. Regardless, I know, a lot of guys in the organization are thrilled that Jalen had that type of passing day. They pay a franchise fee for a quarterback. They want to see those kind of numbers. You're not going to do it every week, but they want to see that.
Yeah.
But to me, they're not going to turn the corner until they start getting this running game cranked up. And I feel like they've got a lot of work to do yet in that. And I think, there's some runs that they haven't done yet, that they can do. They got the two most athletic tackles in the league. It'd be good to see them running some toss crack and getting those guys out in the perimeter the way a lot of other teams are doing it. And so I think there's still a big jump to be taken in the run game. And I think then when you could marry both of them, then I could tell you that, and they're both working together, then I think we could say that they've turned a corner.
Is that effective passing going to help that run game from happening? Because it's very hard for us to figure out why the run game isn't working, whether it's offensive line play, whether it's Saquon, all that stuff. Do you think this is sort of gives them the recipe to get that on track?
Well, I think it's there if they want to do it. I'm not sure if they're fully committed to it, to be honest with you. I know last year it won them a Super Bowl. they seem to be a little reticent to really commit to it. I mean, when Saquon gets the ball against Denver one time in the fourth quarter in a tight game, it's, are they really committed to the run game? I feel like, there's a little bit of a split. Do we want to be a better passing team or running? Like, I think it's got to all go together. A lot of these teams right now are just playing like we saw it week one against the Cowboys. You're seeing it around the league. They're just sitting in these umbrella defenses and trying to keep everything in front of them. But if you start getting your shots down the field like that, or if you start running the ball effectively, you can run them out of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And, I think then you can really dictate what defenses are doing and how you can manipulate that. And I don't think, they've really begun to dictate what defenses are doing yet.
From a defensive standpoint, look, they end up with a couple of takeaways, but Minnesota, if Carson Wentz doesn't make a couple of the errors that he makes, the game might look a little bit differently. Defensively, what are you seeing? The Eagles have been outgained every game this season, and that's not just on the offense, it's on the defense too. Are you seeing any signs of life from the pass rush? You had mentioned Jalen Carter last week.
N'Kobe's back.
N'Kobe back too, yeah. From the defense, what did you see on Sunday?
Well, I mean, I think there's a reason why Brandon Graham is, back in uniform.
Yeah.
The pass rush, they have not had a great pass rush from any of the guys, and Jalen showed up last week. I know he's affected with, some shoulder problems and whatnot, but he showed up a little bit last week. But they really haven't had much heat off the edge. They put, Jihad out there last week, and, N'Kobe made a big difference, like to your point. Like, he just looked like he was wanting to go smash somebody, and he did a couple of times. So that was good. Honestly, Minnesota, you snap the ball over the quarterback's head and you lose 20 yards. You have the ball in Justin Jefferson's hands for a touchdown. They end up setting them for a field goal. Great job by Cooper DeJean to get it out. They had plenty of opportunities to either win that game or, at least, make that thing a one-possession game. And they just couldn't make the play. Carson, on one throw was basically a punt, but, he missed every deep shot he had, where he had a chance. I mean, they have big problems at corner. And it's been going on all year. And getting Quinyon back healthy makes a difference. But the other corner, I think this trade deadline, you're going to see even more players coming in right now to try and kind of repair this thing, because teams are going after the other corner relentlessly. And if they could have completed some deep shots last week, maybe we're talking about a 3-game loss right now.
So, you mentioned corner, and we were talking about pass rush. If, let's say, going into the trade deadline, we all hope for both. If you could add an edge or add a corner, what do you think helps the Eagles' defense more?
Good question, Spike. If I can only take one, if it was a really good, if you say, just for, I don't think this is going to happen, but if, Trey Hendrickson became available for some reason, I would take the end. But if you could shake a corner loose someplace, somebody that can really play, I don't know why in this league, I don't know why anybody would unload a good one, but I'd take the corner right now, the way that they're going after, the guy's not named Quinyon right now.
So we have the Giants on Sunday, who kicked the Eagles' ass a couple weeks ago. They're certainly more energized. It just doesn't, to me, looking ahead to this game, if the Eagles are playing the way they should, this should not. The Giants aren't a team that should beat the Eagles. What are you seeing right now from the Giants, and is there any reason to be concerned? Is the wrong word, but as long as they show up and play the way that they should beat that team on Sunday, right?
I think so. They have a better roster than the Giants, but Jackson Dart's playing great.
Yep.
He put up 5. Helped them get to 5 touchdowns against the Eagles. He had. They were in the 30s last week against Denver. In Denver, he has a unique ability with only 4 starts to just maneuver a pocket that is flushed with pass rushers or blitzers, and he doesn't sack himself. He keeps plays alive. And so you really got to plaster your receivers, because they don't have a great receiver in the roster, but he'll find the open receiver if they shake loose, and he creates a lot of loose plays, and he's a very good runner, and he's fearless. He's not going to hold the ball, and he's going to make the throws. It might be tight window throws, but he has no fear of pulling the trigger. So he does concern me. And then Brian Burns is playing great right now for the Giants. they're not a great defense at all, but they do have some playmakers on that defense. And so, you want to see the Eagles kind of go after some of these corners that are out there that are, I don't know, I think they're just average players out there.
Yeah. Brian, Baldy, you brought up BG for a quick second there earlier. Just want to get your thoughts on BG coming back and, what do you think he can, I guess, give this defensive line and the locker room? Like, what do you think about BG coming back?
Well, I mean, everybody loves BG. I mean, there's, he doesn't have one hater in the whole world. So, like, him walking in the locker room is going to be a big deal, because he's just got that leadership and smile and, that personality. I just, what kind of football shape could he be in? I'm sure he's been lifting weights and, he's got some conditioning. But, football is a sport that, you need some calluses out there. Like, can he just put the uniform on and, become Superman on Sunday? Like, that Andrew Thomas is playing great football at left tackle for him. The right tackle is a little questionable right now. But, they need somebody that can win a one-on-one out there right now.
Yeah.
That can put some heat on without blitzing right now, Ike. So, I hope that he's in good shape and he's not going to be one of these guys that's been out of football for 9 months and he goes out there and he does something, to harm his body at this point. He tore his tricep a couple times last year. He, recovered fast enough to get back out there, but, I don't want to see him force himself into the situation just because they need him. I'm kind of curious how they're going to use him if he does play this weekend.
All right, Baldy. Thank you as always, man. We appreciate it. We will talk to you next time, same place, same time.
Florida, huh?
Yeah, enjoy that Florida.
Yeah.
All right, Baldy.
Okay, guys. Yep.
That is Audacy NFL insider Brian Baldinger, host of the Best Football Show podcast. Insider Call is brought to you by Nationwide for your insurance and financial needs. Nationwide is on your side.